we'll just quickly go through some basic Python together. So it's be really hands-on. I don't have PowerPoint slides to show you guys, but I do have data sets that are already uploaded to Canvas. You can see it from the week 2 folder. And you got a minute now, you can just download it to your local desktop, and then we can just play around this together later on. This AP sub L 2019.csv. Or you can wait a bit, like you don't have to do it right now, but we can just get started with some Python. So everybody has a Google account. I want you to go to your Google Drive now. So if you don't want to use, feel free to use your personal. We are in the Google Drive, so just go to Google Drive, the first step. So we'll be using the Google Colab environment for this session. But if you already have your local Jupyter notebook set up, you can feel free to use or whatever environment you have. So once you're in Google Drive, there is a button at the left-hand side, top left-hand side. There's a new, and then you can create a new notebook. Here is you go all the way down to more, and then Google Colab. So I'll just quickly introduce this environment. We call environment. So basically, an environment means a place you code. This is the Python environment provided by Google for free. And one good thing about this is you can connect to their server, so it doesn't take your local CPU resource. And what's amazing about it is it also comes with free GPU resources. So later on, when you want to play with your own, for example, now ChatGPT is really a hit, and we want to create your own a large language model, you can use the GPU service right here. Like you can connect it with some open source large language model, even just from here, because it provides you with free GPU service. You don't have to purchase a fancy fancy computer with graphic cards, so you don't have to do that to start with. So here you just click. You can rename it whatever way you like, but just remember to keep the extension here .ipynb. So by the way, someone use Jupyter or Visual Studio. I believe a lot of them share this file type. So this extension is commonly used in different environments. So and here you can just for this environment, you can type in some notes. Like usually you can just click when you hover your mouse here, you can see a plus code and plus text. So for plus code, you will just get different boxes where you can type code, and different boxes where you can type in text. So just remove these for now. So for text, you can just double click, and then you can just type in my first Colab notebook like this. Once you're done, so usually you can just hover your mouse to somewhere else and click, and it would just be some notes here. And you can make it like, here's a table of content, by the way, of this of your notebook. If you wanna like organize your notebook in a better way, you can just make it into a title. Like you come back here, you add this pound sign or sharp, whatever, you just add here, and then it will become a title. Not really, yeah. Basically, it will show up here in your table of contents as a title for this section. Yeah, we'll start code. Usually, the first thing everybody know is the print function. So in Python, we have different functions, and print function is the most basic one. You can just type in print, and then and then you type left bracket like this parenthesis, and then you will show a pair. So within this pair, you add a single quotation mark. It will just also show a pair as well. And then you can say, for example, hello world. And this is already a Python command that you can execute by simply pressing Control, or I believe if you're using Mac, it's a command. So Control plus Enter, or Mac is Command plus Enter. So it will just start to run. And it will take a little while because it will connect to the Python 3 Google Compute Engine here. Once you see there is a green tick, it means it's connected to the Python resources provided by Google. As you can see, just click here. You can see there's a window showing how powerful the machine is, like located to you for free. Like it got a 12.7 gigabytes RAM, and then the hard disk as well. So yeah, it's amazing. So and you can just run whatever you have on your own computer as usual. You don't have to be concerned about your Python taking up too much of the resource of a computer. Yes, so we can just hide it for now. Yes, so and now we'll talk a little bit about how we can assign some value to variables, which is also very important. Just like your math, like you can put in x, for example, equals to 5, and then you print x. And here, pay attention, you don't need the quotation mark anymore. You just put x here, and you execute. It's gonna show 5. Everybody okay? In this way, you create a variable in the environment. So it'll always be there. Like when you're in a new box, it just simply, sometimes you don't even need a print. You can just say X, and then you execute, it shows 5 as well. And you can create different variables, multiple variables as well. So that's for sure. So I will speed up a little bit and to talk about another very important thing, which is called a list. So I create a box where I can type in some like new section. Now I'll talk about lists. So this is another very important concept, which is basically it can contain like different variables. You don't need to define them separately. You can define a list and then put all the values inside and as one single variable. It's like a list. You can, or some people call it like an item. So let's say you go to you have a shopping list, and then you want to store you know, the different items you want to purchase. Let's say so you want to call it shopping list, but here you see when you define this variable, if you want to call it shopping list, it shows as two separate items. So basically in Python, when you want to define something, you have to put them in a single word or single string. Like for example, here, if you want to define a variable called shopping list, you have to put something in between. Like here, I would suggest just put an underscore that you create a variable. Here, for example, it's a list. We want to put a list. You just equal square bracket, and then you can put whatever you have. For example, apples. And here, pay attention. Here we have this quotation mark again. So what quotation mark is for? You might ask. So basically, this is for some strings, like some names, instead of 5 or 7 as value, numerical values. So this is where you use the quotation marks. And then you use comma and the bananas, comma, let's say green peppers. And then you have a shopping list. You execute this as well, like you just remember Control plus Enter, or actually, I believe there's some other way you can run this. Yes, there is a play button at the left-hand side. This is when you don't want to use your keyboard, you can just press this and it will run as well. So a list can also be a list of numerical values as well. So let's say you want a list of like the prices of these items. You can just say 5, 7, 8, like this. And let's say you suddenly you have a new item you want to put in your shopping list. You can just, so the function here is when you want to add a new item to the list and you don't want to define it again, you can just use dot append and then parentheses, just append whatever you want in your. So here, pay attention is the round brackets, the parentheses instead of the square ones. So what's the difference? So if I want to create something using the round one, that's actually a different type. Let me just quickly show you. Yeah, this also works like this, right? Yes. So let me see. I think there is a type difference. No, it's not the type. Okay, tuple object. So this one is called a tuple. So tuple instead of list, we can just define. Let me just add a. So this shopping list we define again. This is a list, and this is a tuple. So if you want to do further research, I give the head of the trail you can go down by yourself. So basically there's some difference, but the list is the most commonly used when we want to organize data into a one single item, like just organize it better. Yeah, exactly. That's the point here. So data type. So basically what we already covered when we get started. This is a string, like you can, this one is a string, hello world, something like this. And then we also have this what do you call it, like a numerical value, just yeah, like an integer. There are different names, you know, there are different ways, like there can be you add decimal points to it. So but I mean, to get started, you don't have to know all the nitty-gritty details. You don't have to, but you can just get started with the vague ideas. So there are some ways of organize my data, because like we're not computer scientists, we don't have to dig too deep into that. And now we want to play with our list. We have, let's say we have this shopping list, and we want to add new stuff. I forgot. So basically, let's say strawberries. Now I append a strawberries to this shopping list, and now it comes with the strawberry in the list as well. So This is just a way you want to use if you want to just add 1 or 2 items. So instead of define the list all over again, you just use append. And there is also the opposite, I believe, is called pop. Sorry, it's not pop. So basically, let me see. But now we have ChatGPT. So what I want to show you is, a normal workflow for me. So how do I remove one item from my So this, I would say ChatGPT is your best companion of coding. You just go there and ask whatever question. So basically, it shows, you can use dot remove and like this, and you print again. So I will not just test it here, but basically, you can just copy your code. Hey, I can quickly test it, but I mean, this is how you test it out. Okay, whether it works or not, you can just test it immediately using this ChatGPT. So there's a copy code. You don't even have to copy and paste by yourself. It's just a one click. So, and then for lists, I would say why it's important. I believe everybody has some experience using Excel. Actually, Excel you can understand as multiple lists put together as a bigger thing. So later we will also learn that it's called data frame. So that's why we learn lists. So just give you a bigger picture. And then we also have the next item. I would just call it a dictionary. So dictionary is another important data type. So it combines what we just show here. So for example, a shopping list, and you have a price of each item. And what if we want to put them together? So this is why we have dictionary. Let's just call it shopping list with prices. So let's make it shorter this time. And just pay attention here, we use this curly bracket instead of, so different from what we used before. So this curly bracket, we put, let's say, apples. I check the price, it's $5. Okay. And here we put this the column and then 5. And then comma, bananas, colon, 7. Let's just have these 2 items for now. So now you define your first dictionary like this. So basically, you can understand this as a list with tags. So different tags. So you tag those values, for example, 5 and 7, with the item names. So you have a reference point. So you just go to this dictionary and you have 2 sets of information at the same time. So later on, we will see how this it's further developed into the Excel data frame. So some manipulation of this dictionary. By the way, so here are just some tricks. So you can just copy. It's not really a trick, but you can just copy and paste. If you find it too difficult to type, another way is you just type in for example, the starting the several alphabets, and then you just several letters. You have this like automatic auto completion or something like that. So basically, you can use a square bracket here, and then you put apples. So guess what? Now it will return you the price. So this is how you query a dictionary for. So you have one information, you want to query the other information, you have something like a way like this to do these queries. And then you can also define new items like what we did before. So I was gonna do that. So shopping list with prices. Now we have a new item. Let's say I want to buy some books. Let's say $10. And now actually, since there is no books in that list, so you can, when you print this dictionary again, you see a new item popping up here. So books 10. So like this. It's very straightforward and intuitive, I would say. So this is by far the most simple language or syntax I know, like out there. So I believe Python is really the best place you get started with coding. So I have also downloaded here. So on my computer. So I will just create a new folder in my Google Drive so that I don't lose it later. Let's say IT class. So if you use other environments, you don't have to follow me here, but this is, I would say, the workflow for Python. If you want to work with your data, usually you upload your data to Google Drive so that you have a seamless, I would say seamless workflow. You can just drag and drop to your new folder. So you have your CSV file now on your Google Drive. So now I also created a new section in the notebook called AP Ledger. So actually, this one is a AP accounts payable ledger. Actually, we can just open it for a quick overview of what the data looks like using Excel. So as you can see, it contains 100,000 data items. So basically, they're the invoice number, the dates of the invoice, and then a date of the activity basically in the ledger. And they also have the vendor's number, the vendor's name, the transaction type, and the transaction amount. So it can be invoice transaction or a payment transaction. Or we can double check. So this is usually how like people, I believe if you've been an accountant before or work in the industry or and even for some projects, you most likely for some data like this, you just play around using Excel, which is also convenient, I have to say. But using Python, you really open door to a new world. Like you can start to utilize Python's like some powerful packages to conduct, for example, machine learning or some visualizations. That's super easy. You just have the code ready, and whenever you want, update your data, you just simple click, and then it will just generate everything again for you. So you don't you basically improve your productivity here. So let's get started with this AP Ledger. So the first thing I would say, you want to check if your notebook is connected with your Google Drive. So there's a, on the left pane, there is a folder icon. You click, and you don't see anything here. So it's just the sample data, which is nothing. This is my own Google Drive. I believe I saved it sometime, but it's I don't see my I don't see this AP Ledger folder, which is the Pamba IT class. So the first thing is there is a Mount Drive button here. You need to click it. So basically, permit this notebook to access your Google Drive files. You just connect to Google Drive. And then you have this new Drive folder showing up here. When you click a little bit down to lower folders, the lower levels, basically you see this Pamba IT class. This is the new folder I created. So now this is where we were coding, right? And there is a folder button at the left-hand side. And then there are 4 buttons under this files. There are 4 buttons. I believe the first one is upload, refresh, and then mount drive, and then show hidden files. So you just mount drive. Yeah, you're welcome. And then you have everything from your Google Drive here. And what I do is I navigate to the new folder I created, Pamba IT class. And then there I see this CSV file that I want to locate. So, and here is a trick. Since you need to code, you need to put in this path so that the Python you can use Python to locate your CSV file. But how do you know what the path is basically when you hover your mouse to this CSV file, you have this 3 dot button here. You click it and copy path. Now it's in your copy the clipboard. And so basically, I would just quickly show you how we can import it. But before we paste that path, I want to introduce a new type of command in Python, which is called import. So here we import probably one of the most important packages in Python, which is called Pandas. So Pandas is very powerful, so powerful that I would say it can not only do whatever is available in Excel, like all the functions in Excel, but it can also do it super fast. Like sometimes when you play with Excel, like millions of records, it would just freeze, like it go frozen, right? Like, but with the Pandas and this Python environment, it's just we'll just do everything is like a breeze. So everything is super fast. Because I basically, long story short, Pandas organize their data in a more, I would say, efficient way so that it can do whatever task more efficiently. And then you import the Pandas as PD. You can just run this first, and you see it will just import the Pandas for you. Later on, you can, so this as PD is basically the abbreviation for Pandas. Later, when you want to call Pandas, you just put in PD. So this is what this is doing. And then now you want to define this new item called a data frame. So I'll just put a abbreviation here. So it's called DF. And I need to call PD and then read underscore CSV. You put the square bracket here. No, this round bracket, and then you put the quotation mark, and you paste the previous path I asked you to copy. So you have everything here. This is the path. It should not be identical to yours because we have different structure of our Google Drive folders. So I believe it's different, but it should end with this AP subledger 2019.csv. So as long as you see pops up here, it should be the correct one. And then you run it. Thank you very much. We have this R here. So I put an R because sometimes in your file name, you might have some so-called illegal, some illegal signs or whatever. You put characters. Yes, you have, and you will just not read it properly. So when you put an R there, everything will just load as you expect. So let's load it again. And now one simple command you can do is just to simply put df and then execute. You see everything is in Python right now. So you don't have, it's similar to Excel, but it's different. Like you can't just edit or sort, but everything is, you can just by some simple codes, you can execute those functions. And if it is too long, you can just do a head dot df dot head and parentheses. You see, you just run it. And now it will just return you the top 5 rows of that data frame. And there are different functions like columns. And here we don't put that, the brackets pair brackets there. Basically, it will just show you a list of the different headings, the headers of the different columns. Or just put here. So just show you a couple more different functions. Like there is a, let's show this one first. So basically, if you want to slice this data frame, like for example, you want to just show the first 2 columns, let's say, you can use 2 pairs, like 2 pairs of square brackets. So you can just, basically what you do is just press the left square bracket twice, and then you have, let's say you have dates, and you have, let's say, transaction amount. And you have the 2 columns extracted for you. And you can save it. For example, you can create a new name like df2 or something. It would just be stored there. And then you have a new data frame. As simple as that. Okay, so if you want to know more about df, this I would say this spreadsheet table, there's some simple functions you can just call. For example, info. Let's do info first. Info will show you how many items are there and the data types for each column. Another one is describe. But basically, what it does is to show
the different integer numbers or the different numerical values in this data frame, the descriptive statistics, so some like the number, the count, the mean, the standard deviation, and the different quartiles. So this is super powerful as well if you have the your data predominantly in numerical values. But however, you see this invoice number, it shouldn't show up here because we don't want to know the standard deviation of an invoice number, right? Obviously, there's some issue with the data type, as we can see here as well. It shows as integer. So we obviously want it as probably object like the other ones. So which do not create this kind of trouble for us. Like later on, we don't need to do some analysis on this invoice number, like the distribution of the values. So there is a as type function that you can just create this. You can just redefine your variables value. Like for example, here we have, by the way, here is a curly bracket. Wanna make sure you see it clearly. So it's curly bracket and then invoice number. Sorry, it should be underscore NO and then colon. Let's call it object. So now it's an object. And if you want to test it, like we just described this df again. Oh, let's see what happened. What about string? Obviously, you really want me to show this, but actually, what I want to show here is basically how we can change the data types of the data frame, and then there are, as I said, there are different ways you can try to sort this data frame. Like, let's say, sort values. Here is this df.sort values. And date. Let's sort it by date first. And here is something that is a little bit tricky. So there's a extra, so what we call here is this so-called parameters. Like for different, like these are, we call functions. We can put in different parameters here. So let's say the first one, we want to sort by date. And then this ascending is equal to false, means we want to sort it not by ascending order. So which means we want to sort it by descending order. So let's see whether it does the job or not. Try to run it. So as you can see, the dates 2019, it started with the December 30th. And it ended with January 1st. So obviously it does the job. So if you want to know more, like actually when you type in, and remember there will be some
you just put in like the comma blank, the comma space, and then actually it will show you the different parameters of this function. If you want to know more, this is in the world of coding. This is so-called the documentation of this sort values function. So basically everything is here. And you can also search online on Google, like want to know more about this function, sort values, and then there will be some similar documentation up there as well. So this is for your further research or interest. Yeah. So basically, this is, I would say, the 101, the first class to introduce you some Python. And basically, it's like a trailhead for you guys. You can just follow the different things here, and you can go online for some further like tutorials or books. I can give you guys some resources I put on Canvas that you can learn more by yourself. And in a couple of weeks time, in July 1st, I think we'll start to cover some more fancy stuff like textual analysis or machine learning that utilize some of the things we learned today. So